Ah! Shit! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new video series. For a long time, I've wanted to make a comprehensive set of videos where I'm talking about the fundamentals of RTS. Now, I know a lot of people feel a little bit burnt out on Starcraft 2, a lot of people looking for what's ahead in RTS, and we've got a whole bunch of games in the future, and I wanted to tackle one of the most important topics for any RTS gamer first, and this one is confidence versus anxiety. And the reason I'm tackling this first is because it applies to everyone. As you're getting started with the game, there's a lot of stress. And whenever you're thinking about a game genre, like real-time strategy, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on that you're trying to juggle, and you can basically never keep up with everything perfectly. That's where the skill is shown. Better players are able to juggle more of this stuff more effectively. Now, I want to take you down memory lane real quick on my main StarCraft account. If we go way back, I'm talking way back to Wings of Liberty, back when I was a little bronze to gold player. This is 2010. So if you look at the calendar here, it's 2023. This was 13 years ago. And now, to describe what it felt like for me to play the game at this point, it was a lot more anxiety and a lot less confidence. I went into StarCraft 2 thinking of myself as hot shit because I got a high rank in World of Warcraft Arena, but this is a very different video game. StarCraft 2 involves 1 versus 1, economy management, technological progression, and military command. And there's no team, and it's all different kinds of buttons and stuff. And I was really stressed. Every match that I played was like, oh God, oh shit, I know I'm supposed to do all this stuff, but I don't know what to do. And you feel basically panicked for the entire duration of the match, and when you lose, you're confused. So it's panic, anxiety, and stress. I'm gonna draw this for you in a graph, how this changes over time as you gain experience. Now I have a very advanced computer program here known as Microsoft Paint. And in this, I'm just gonna draw you something. What the hell happened to this thing? Okay, I'm gonna show you this real quick. How the hell did this happen? Sorry, my stuff is busted. Okay, let's get some lines here. Let's draw this line here. Let's draw this line here. All right, it's a little bit scuffed, but it doesn't matter. This is the beginning of my StarCraft career here. We'll say this is 0.0. I have 0 experience in the game. And this line here is stress. So let's get this here. And I'll just say this vertical line is the stress level playing the game. I'm not BRB, that's wrong. Okay, stress is this one, and this one is experience. Basically, if you're a person who is playing an RTS game, when you first start out, we'll do red because it's a very panicky situation. Let's get that brush again. Your stress is gonna be like up here. It feels really stressful to play RTS. You are panicking, you don't know what to do, and people are setting you off balance and sending units at your base that you don't even know what they are. But over time, as you realize, okay, I lost to that build, but I didn't really die in real life, so it's okay to lose at the video game. So over time, you tend to be less and less stressed. But then maybe you take a break for a while and you forget some of your opening build and it's kind of scuffed and you get a little bit more stressed. That's okay, because as you get in more matches, the stress goes down. That's fine. And then, oh my gosh, I'm just stressed by my real life stuff, so my stress goes up a little bit. But you notice there's a general downward trend here with your stress over time as you put in more and more games, because you realize it's just a fantasy. These units that are in the video game are not people dying in real life, so it's not a big deal to lose. And I also know more and more about the game. It's still a high stress game, but your stress level gradually declines. And then all of a sudden you get invited into a clan war where your team's requiring you to participate, and your loss or victory improves or lowers their chances of victory. Suddenly you're very stressed again. So I joined a clan when I was a low masters player, and whenever I would play on the team, I really wanted to win because I knew that it mattered more. So my stress went up again. But as I played in more and more clan wars, my stress would go back down a little bit, and it's still pretty stressful, but I got a sense of, okay, it's okay to lose in the clan war as long as you learn from the loss. It's all good and fine. And then, oh my gosh, I'm trying to push GM now. And now it's suddenly really stressful because I'm trying to get there. But then I get GM and I chill down again. And it kind of goes like this, where you have reasons why your stress might go up. And then you have reasons why your stress will diminish just based on experience. You get exposure to the different cheeses and all-ins, and you get to calm down a little bit. Now, one of the main aspects of this entire journey, and one thing that blew my mind when it comes to basically just kind of breaking down. See what's happened to my scene switcher, dude? It's like super wide. I don't know why that happened. One thing that really blew my mind when it comes to managing the stress of the game is that your opponent is also really stressed. That made me feel like the ground was just evened out and I wasn't actually the one who was like the victim of, I get so stressed by Starcraft. Someone just told me, they're like, your opponent is stressed too. And I was like, oh, so if they're stressed and I'm stressed, my ability to manage stress can give me an advantage. If I can be more calm under pressure, if I can be more calm when something doesn't go my way and still try my best, then I'm going to win a lot more games than people who, as soon as one thing goes bad, they freak out and they get really upset and they get maybe mad at their opponent and start typing. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself to feel stress. We've been taught by popular psychology, stress bad. Stress, negative health effects. Stress is a part of life. At a point, stress is unavoidable. And by entering in the ladder, you are agreeing to experience stress with another participant, someone who's trying to attack you and mess up your bases and stuff. So to ladder is to acknowledge that I'm going into that arena. I'm going into a place of violence and death and danger because it's rewarding whenever I win in a complex game. If you have that competitive spirit within yourself, or if you just really like the process of powering up an RTS army, you can build your resilience to stress. And that's one of the cool aspects of gaming that can translate into some confidence in real life. If you can go from being a low tier player and then set yourself to the process of improvement and rank up over time through Wings of Liberty, through Heart of the Swarm, you can get into the GM heckin' leagues. And then Legacy of the Void, where's 1v1? Sorry, it's all scuffed because it's not 1v1. Legacy of the Void is basically all GM. Heart of the Swarm, I got GM for the first time in 2014, but I started out as a bronze. And the way that I got up to GM was actually from this here, the total number of games. If you really want to improve, one of the main aspects of improvement is experience. If you want to be a fast marathon runner, you need to put in miles. They don't need to be perfect miles. They don't need to be sprints. You just need to go out there and run, and your intuition will develop naturally. So whenever you're playing an RTS game like Starcraft that has a whole bunch going on, being able to hit this button makes you stronger. Maybe not right away, but over the course of 100 games or 1,000 games or 10,000 games, you're going to see a lot of situations. And you will fail in those situations the first time, and that's 100% okay. Because every failure in a situation gives you information. The way that I recommend people go out on the ladder, if they're new to the game or if they're returning to a game, is go at it like you're a field psychologist, where you're going out there in the ladder and you're like, I wonder what people are doing in Platinum League these days if you're queuing into Platinum. Because that makes it a lot less personal. It makes it less about your ego of, am I going up the ladder or am I going down? It's more about, what is the meta? What are people doing? And what do I need to do to take advantages in the current meta? How do I survive the popular cheeses? How do I deal damage to opponents who are turtling? How do I win these kinds of matches? If you approach it like you're a scientist or like you're a student who is entering into the ladder to learn, it's way more peaceful and it's way more fun because you're learning and you're curious. You're not putting your whole life's worth on the line every ladder game. A lot of people will feel like they don't have confidence in themselves, and if their rank goes down, their self-worth goes down. And if their rank goes up, their self-worth goes up. This is way too volatile. Just say, I have a goal of practicing the game, and I will allow myself, win or lose, to just do stuff and see what happens. So I don't want to make this too long, but basically the most important fundamental to getting started with an RTS is to acknowledge it's a complicated game genre. It's a stressful game genre. My opponent is also stressed, and my ability to overcome that stress and to overcome that ladder anxiety is going to make me a stronger RTS player and a stronger person just by engaging your force of will to click that button. So get your experience in, don't be afraid to lose, and be curious about what's on the ladder. This is the first RTS fundamental, and I wish you glory in battle in whatever RTS game you play in the future. Thank you.